So hey guys, oh no, it's Garbro. Oh no, we're gonna look.
Rubs hands together.
For any of you guys that haven't seen it yet, go ahead, check out our community tab. I don't really want to talk about it too much, but Megan's probably not going to be with us for this week or most of next week, if I be honest. And I came across this this thread on Biz, and me and Megan have done something similar to it before, but I looked at it, I was like, no, Garbro's going to have some great stories for this one, so I couldn't help myself. I thought this would be a good one. Also, before we jump into it, a lot of people have been asking about the Kickstarter. I've sent a ton of the book. I've sent 400 or so, all the books that aren't signed, and all the UK ones, all Ireland, and there's a ton of American ones. However, because of all the stuff going on, I'm not able to post for about a week or so, but don't worry, they are coming. However, there is a ton of people that haven't filled out the surveys yet, and if you don't fill out their survey, I can't send it to you because I don't have your address, so check that out as soon as you can.
Just stop being so dramatic too. Jesus. I read your comments, guys, on the Kickstarter. Good lord.
No, it's fine, don't worry. Anyway, look, let's jump into this one, will we?
Yep. Alright. What's the biggest soup sandwich moment you've ever seen on your job? Back when I was in the Air Force in 07, some guys lost 6 nuclear warheads and didn't even notice they were missing until they were found somewhere else. That's honestly fucking terrifying.
Apparently that happens quite a bit, though. I think they're called broken arrows, are they? Is that the correct term?
No, well, a broken arrow is when you're calling in air support on your location from all directions. It basically means you're being overrun. I'm not sure what the nuclear code is in the Air Force. It may be broken arrow for all I know, but that's... But it's just that you would think with warheads just running around, you have a guy who just like watch it with his eyeballs, who's paid just to watch the nuclear warhead. It's a nuclear warhead. It's not like a bag of Jelly Bellies. It's a nuclear warhead.
No, Carbo, that would make sense. That would make you believe that the people in charge know what they're doing. You know, that's what are you talking about? You know, but honestly, apparently that stuff happens all the time. There was a good one I heard about Bill Clinton. Actually, this was when Bill Clinton, I was about to say in the 90s, but of course. Apparently he forgot his codes. He left it in one of his jackets, and they were missing for like 6 months. He didn't have the
launch codes?
code. Yeah, he lost the launch codes for like 4 or 5 months.
Jesus.
So he did. Yeah, that's one of those things like you think about. It's like, well, thank God we didn't need them.
There's like some dry cleaner. What are these funny numbers?
Anyway, look, let's jump into this one, will we?
A furry decided to drive while wearing a fursuit. No one knew. Middle of the night, was taking a bit of himself, jacking off, and driving a heavily armored IFV. No.
It gets worse. It gets worse. It gets really.
He just pictured this furry in a fucking Bradley just beating his dick in front of the fucking controller staff. He rolled down a hill and crushed an officer to death. It was loud as fuck, so the entire garrison went to investigate. Guts were everywhere, and the head of the fursuit was found on the floor. Man fled the scene naked and on foot. Was found. We found the fucker an hour later after a manhunt. He slit his own throat. His dick was severed and on the floor. It was pretty disgusting.
You know what? That's probably what how bad does your porn habit need to be before it's like guys, I need to jack off and I have IFV. That's my.
Did he put on the first? Because IFV was probably either a Striker or a Bradley or a Cayman.
Yeah,
I guess he probably put the suit on.
That's just what I have in my head.
They put the suit on inside like the passenger compartment and then went to the driver's seat. Because how's a furry like stealth across an entire garrison base? Because it says garrison. Is this in theater? Is it stateside? Because if it's stateside, it'd be a lot harder. If you're in garrison across the pond, it's probably a lot easier. But I'm trying to picture like this stealth, like this fursuiter wearing like a solid snake outfit under his fursuit, like trying to stealth through the fucking base and get to his eye. Because here's the thing, though, and there's a well-known secret, quote-unquote secret. All the IFVs and Hummers, there is no key to them. You just turn a switch and it turns on.
See, I only find this out. One of my teachers, in tech, he was South African, so he was, and he was telling me all about. He wasn't South African, he was Rhodesian actually, but he moved to South Africa because of yeah. So he said what they had was it was during war with Mozambique or whatever.
Yeah, Mozambique.
So he was telling me that he was only like 7 at the time or whatever, and he was an engineer, so he was a math teacher, so that's what he did. But anyway, hold on, let me get rid of this. screaming at me.
Screaming cat noises.
Cat's shouting at me. So anyway, so he said he was only like 17. It was first time he ever actually got to do anything. So I can't remember who it was that they were at war with. Anyway, they said that they didn't actually have anything. They were getting supplies from like Russians and whatever, and so the Russians had given them all this equipment,
advisors,
but they didn't have but they didn't have any fuel, or they didn't have anyone to actually pilot it. So what they did was they flew over and they just like filled them up and just flew away with them. You know, right? Like, instead of like destroying them, it's like, no, we're going to take these. These are ours now. And he says, yeah, no, apparently back then you could just use like a screwdriver. You could just throw it in, and that would it. You just turn it on, because they're not exactly like keys. You know, it's kind of like it just worked. He said, I can't remember the exact details. It was a great story the way he told it all.
I worked at a meat and fish counter at Safeway. It was just an endless fuck up. Always had too much fresh meat. We turned away more. We turned way more into dog food than we actually sold customers. The counter itself was an absolute mess. Nobody ever cleaned them, and underneath the ice you could see morning. Oh geez, nobody ever cleaned them. And underneath the ice you see every morning is a nasty soup of ancient flesh. It was just a never-ending heap of bad sanitation practices and pitiful waste. That was me at that frickin' bakery. Oh my god.
You know, there's one thing. Normally, I'm very much against any and all forms of like government
regulation. Yeah.
Yeah. Normally, I'm pretty much like, what does the government know? Like, you know, let's be serious. The guy here
What's
just
the government know?
But you see, when it comes to like the health inspector, I'm actually completely on board. Yeah, I'm completely on board with the health inspector.
I have seen some immensely horrifying things slide due to laziness in the food industry. Because I worked with food for the first like 10 years of my wage career. I swear, dude. Like I was working at pizzerias and bakeries and sandwich shops. I knew a lot of stuff. It's like I could make all the stuff off the bat. And I was getting fights with these managers because like, oh, it's fine. Like there are maggots. Here, look, like just cut it out. Cut it out. Are you out of your mind? You know, because I had high standards for food because you're serving people food.
Yeah. It's so ridiculous. There was one. I got it in the December issue. There was a delivery came in. It was a load of strawberries, and strawberries I just
oh my god,
don't last very long.
They turn like the pulp.
There was like half of them were rotten, so I just chucked a load of them. You know what I mean? And I was like, what are you doing? What are you on about? Why did you throw that away? It's like, man, it was all rotten. What are you talking about?
Mate,
like, no, they're good. They're good. It's like,
no, mate, they're good. Just rub off the mold.
What do you? Oh, I don't know. Honestly, when it comes to actual like food hygiene, like where I've worked, it's actually been decent. I wouldn't say like there was nothing. No, I've got one. So this one's the worst one I ever came across. So it was an Indian wedding, and for any of you guys who know Indian weddings, they are huge. Like I mean, like they just eat all day from like 12 o'clock to like 8 o'clock at night, and it's all just like little tiny plates, and it's just constant food going out. It's insane. So it is. Anyway. So the guy that the bride's dad, he owns like a load of kebab shops or Indians or whatever.
Shocking.
And he brought in a ton of food, so we did, right? And he said, right, well, hold on to the food, and I'll take it back with me whenever it's all done and dusted. And we're like, yeah, sure, that's no issue. But they were filling up all the fridges, and the guy, like they tried to ring him up, and they didn't get it. He just didn't show up. He showed up 10 days later, so he did.
What?
And he's like, he's like, where's all my food? It got chopped. It's like, what are you on about? That was £10,000 worth of food. What are you talking about? What's going on?
It was 10 days, you lunatic.
Yeah. And he said, he I don't know if he did or not, but he wanted to take them to court. But it was like, how on earth are you going to take anyone to court over them throwing away food that's 10 days old? Let's be serious. And God knows how old some of it was beforehand. Anyway, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
so that's one of the ones where you think where like this guy was going to sell that in his shops.
He definitely was, yeah, and that's a shit I would catch all the time. Like the one I got the most heated over was I love when kids come in to buy their sweet stuff. You know, I want a cinnamon roll, and I because a joy in their face can really uplift your day when you see this kid like, I want a cinnamon roll, like, here you go, kiddo, like, oh yes, cookies, you know, they love those sweet things. But so there's a bakery in Wichita, and I will drop deets if need be because I hate this place. I know they're still doing it, but First, I get the fact you'll find mice in the flower room, okay? But usually things are on risers and pallets, so it won't touch the ground. These guys didn't do that. So mice were burrowing into the bottom of the bags and then tunneling up like scavenging to the top of the bag to eat flour. And that's wrong. The wheat berries. We would grind the wheat berries in the store. But worst of all was the powdered sugar, okay? The powdered sugar is turned into icing, not cooked. It's just powdered sugar and water or powdered sugar and milk, depending on what we're using it for. So it's never cooked. Yeah. I found roach shit in the powdered sugar. Because I looked, I went, that is roach shit. Because I could tell by the little black dots that was roach shit.
Yeah.
And I've seen roaches before. I was like, okay, that's definitely roach. I was like, hey, manager, we got to toss this entire bag. He goes, just scoop out the bad bits. I was like, no, there's roach shit in your fucking powdered sugar. We got to toss the entire bag.
Yeah, that's going.
And,
that's just going in the bin.
He was fighting with me about it. And I was like, I will go out there and not fucking lobby until every person. And I get all mad and shit in the back room, and I was getting really loud. People were like, what's going on back there? You know, and he's like, shut the fuck up. No, fuck you. You're going to serve these fucking kids powdered sugar roach shit. And I got fired like that second. And like I was livid. You know, I was like pulling my apron off to fight him. Like I was like, you motherfucker. You know, but I got caught in the fucking strands like an idiot. And I was so mad. Because who knows how long it's been going on for.
You'd be shocked at what some people will try and pull off. And they'll be like, yeah, no, what are you on about? That's fine. You know, like, honest to God, just, it's ridiculous. It really is. I actually didn't know that cockroaches existed over here until I started working in kitchens. I was like, Jesus.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, they're everywhere.
Yeah, well, apparently, they only lived in the hotel, so they did.
Okay.
Because apparently, well, again, because it's warm, and of course you've got like American guests and whatnot, or like people from all over, so they can't leave the building. You know what I mean? But and I was like, what the fuck? That was next.
What the fuck?
Yeah, honestly, the cockroaches to me absolutely tart me. I think they're the worst insects ever. They really give me the. I would sooner pick up a plague rat, like a scaven thing that's like going to bite me over a cockroach. Than something really off-putting about them. They're really disgusting animals, you know.
Since we're on discussing stories, I have one more. I have one more that I want to get out before we go further. When I was a bodyguard / hired weapon, not hired, fucking armed guard. I was bodyguard, armed guard, and armed patrol. I got called out to go make entry into a hoarder home. And
oh Jesus, no! Yeah, they're the worst.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
and
no.
so there's I get there, there's this fresh-faced college grad social worker person, and she's like, "This is my first hoarder home." Like I'm so like, "Oh yeah, you're excited." I get it.
I would not be.
So I pull up my lockpick kit, and I get the little door open. I open the door, and you know like how doors will drag across the ground because of the carpet. This one goes,
yeah.
You know, like a wet sound.
No, was there someone?
No,
oh, no.
It was just this lady had 4 chihuahuas, but never took them outside. So this door scoops across like layers of dog shit, and then I walk and I lean in. I go.
No, I can smell that. I can picture that perfectly. No, I know exactly. Oh my God, no, that's absolutely revolting.
So I reach back. I put on a pair of booties over my boots because fuck that, and I walk inside.
Yeah, no way.
Across this carpet, like, all right, come inside, it's clear. And I go, okay, this lady gets 4 steps inside, and I see like her skin turn white. And I was like, honey, you okay? She goes, I was, and she like just reacted so viscerally to the sight of stacks of like newspapers and garbage and moldy food and 2 dead chihuahua bodies in the fucking corner.
Oh
she went, and she just fucking like projectile. I remember it so well. She projectile vomited like bacon and egg sandwich and coffee across this fucking hoarder house, and I was like, wow.
Well, you know what? It probably made the room smell nicer. Not gonna lie, it probably did. I think I'd rather smell vomit.
Yeah, but see, I had smelled dead body before, so I was like, there's probably something dead in here. But she was not prepared for that whatsoever.
Yeah.
And she got vomit everywhere.
What is it about dead bodies? There's something about rotten flesh.
They're sickly sweet. They're sickly sweet.
Oh my God.
And they're pungent.
So
those of you out there who want to kind of savor like what kind of sort of what dead body smells like, go find a food dumpster at high summer and then go in and give it a sniff, and that's as close as you can get to it without actually being.
Oh no, that's actually tired of me. No, keep going. I don't wanna know this one. Like, let's just keep going. Let's just keep
Wage
going.
coworker accidentally mixed 2 different containers of clear coat together because he thought one was the hardener. So when the clear was sprayed, it was unable to properly cure, caused about $30,000 in damage. Original 8K paint shop was ruined. Then everything needed 100 hours of cleanup to be re-prepped and then completely redone. Overall, about 400 hours of shop labor costs, and the customer was beyond angry. Coworker was paid $12 an hour and untrained by management, so I don't blame him. Okay, so this guy, so basically when you mix 2 clear coats together, they can't cure, and it creates like a sludge. It like, because I've seen this happen, it creates like a weird jelly sticky substance that like dirt adheres to and hair adheres to, and you have to like chemically scrape that shit off to all the surfaces.
Yeah, you're not gonna get that off.
No.
You may as well be spraying cement on the walls.
So, I don't know if you know this, but we've got a website with lots of models. And whenever I say lots of models, I mean lots of models. We've got models for any setting that you can think of. With humans with biddies, animals that shouldn't have biddies but do have biddies, dwarves and elves with biddies. Look, we've got a lot of smut models. But it doesn't stop there. We really do have models for anything and everything. And to be honest, they look so good. Chef's kiss, so good. But it's not all smut for all you good Christian Minecraft server players. We've got you covered. And we even got the weebs covered too, which is unusual for this channel because we don't like weebs.
Yeah, the weebs aren't that bad, okay? They're just fun to laugh at.
We also have 5th edition subclasses and adventures, which some of them are free for download, and we sell a physical printed copy of Steel Water as well, and you can request a signed version if that's your thing, where I'll draw a penis on it for you.
If you want us to sign a couple decks, we'll give you decks, okay, guys? That's what
Anyway,
we want.
if you enjoy what we do here, go ahead and check out the website. It helps us out so much, and we don't need to worry about our YouTube overlord striking down another one of our channels. Our website is also now available as an app on Android. Also, and the winner of the daily giveaway is this guy! Yay! Woo!
Look, anyway, in for a chance to win, all you gotta do is like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, automatically entered in.
And to claim the prize, you just send an email to neckbeardiacontact@gmail.com. Let's go back to the video.
I saw.
You may as well,
here we go. When I was a private in the army, I had ammo duty at the range.
So is that just going about picking up?
No.
whatnot?
You'll see. Normally, you keep track of the numbers of rounds used, but I got sent to go shoot, and when I got back like 4 hours later, the replacements hadn't kept track of anything. Normally, it wouldn't be my fault, but I didn't count the number we started with, so it was a whole thing. Looking back, it was people running around the range's fault for putting privates in charge of something like that, just assuming they'll know what they're doing. So usually you count. Now the easiest way to do this is you count the amount of crates coming in, the amount of crates coming back, and spare round. People who actually count the brass are doing it the hardest way possible. They're dumb privates. Smart privates go, we have 5 crates of this many rounds. You go shooting. What's left? And you count up all the crates, the magazines, and the boxes. All right, okay, that's what's left. We shot this much. Out we go. And you fucking just beat feet out of there. It's the easiest way to do things. And I don't know why they're trying to count the actual spent brass. That sounds so fucking annoying.
Yeah, that would just take hours. There's no way you can... Honestly, it's one of those ones, though. See, whenever you hear about military expenditure, are they even counting half the time? You know, let's be serious.
More or less.
Like, you know,
half your range...
how much do they actually keep track of when it comes to this sort of stuff?
Well, they do keep close track of it, but... The difference is that most of your range days are go shoot this ammo, so our budget does not go under. So basically, they'll go out and shoot ammunition. That way they use it, and their budget doesn't change. Because you always
so they can keep buying them.
Yep.
Yeah,
and it was such a shame that tons of rounds went missing from the range and went home with soldiers some days. It was awful. It's truly a travesty. Back in the early 90s and my late teens, worked at a small bar and grill on a golf course. Some idiot boomer emptied the oil trap into a plastic container while the shit was still hot. Naturally, it melted through the plastic container and got over the floor. Fucking retard in his late 30s, early 40s with with a couple shot of a six-pack. Because
Okay.
So
I'll tell the
drunk
story.
as hell. Drunk as hell. Brrr.
Right. Oh, you know what? I've actually... okay, we're talking about drunk chefs. I've got one. There was this guy, Indian fella I used to work with, straight up alcoholic. He was lethal, so he was. There was one day he showed up. It was 10 a.m. and he had after necked a bottle of whiskey, and he was sitting in his car blasting Hotel California. So he was singing in his car.
California.
And yeah, and the maid hotel had to ring down and say, "Could you please tell Thingy to like turn the music down, please? We can hear it in reception." So, that was horrible. But no, I did something like this. I've never done anything quite... Well, not quite. We always... If you change in the flowers, we would do it in the morning before they get turned on. That's just what you would do. You know what I mean? So you don't have to worry too much. So you always work more cold because I've been sitting overnight. But I did do one where I cleaned it out. It was all sitting really nice. I came around and I went to fill it up with oil, and I forgot to pull the lever, and it all just shot out the bottom all over my shoes. It was very sad. But it was clean oil, so it wasn't as bad, but I still flooded the kitchen with about, 15 litres of oil. That was fun. That was not a good day for me. It could have been worse, if I be honest with you, honestly. As long as I didn't melt anything. What's this one here? This one looks like a good one. Smoke weed. That's when you know it starts off good. Yeah.
Smoked weed, dank.
Yeah, imagine being minimum wage. You go into your, kitchen job and fucking... what's his name? Gordon Ramsay stand there staring at you. It's like, oh my god, please no. What have I done? Anyway, let's go for this one, will we?
I used to smoke weed at lunch at one of my jobs where I would literally drug test people for new hire and random tests, keck. While this family friend came in and failed and lost his six-figure job for weed, I don't know what or how it happened, but I think I contaminated his urine somehow because I tested him right after coming back from lunch. It was a lab pee test, so I only did the collection process, and I think particles fell in the cup. He got turbo fucked and still hasn't recovered, and told nobody about that.
That's horrible.
The dangers of devil's lettuce right here, boy.
Is that what type of jobs do make you do drug tests? Because that's just not a thing over here.
It's government jobs mostly, jobs that involve security. Jobs that involve intel. I mean, basically, some people do it just so you if you're working on machinery or heavy machinery or industry type things, you're gonna get drug tests because if you come to work high, you're gonna fucking kill somebody. So,
but I mean, what about if you want to go off at the weekend and do whatever? Does that still count? You know, how far back do these drug tests? It's different if you come into work steaming. Yeah, definitely, you shouldn't be at that. If you do, if you're coming into work, you can't be doing it. But I don't know, if people can do whatever in their free time, you know what I mean?
Well, you would think
if you want, you can smoke meth in your free time. I would never recommend it, but if you want to, that's up to you. I suppose that's the way I would look at it.
You would think they would use a logical increment of it all. As long as you're not high at work, it should be an issue. Because being high at work is no different than being drunk at work. Both are frowned upon, but for some reason one's completely legal and one's not. That's why I don't really get.
Yeah, it depends on what sort of job you do. If you're out, it's one of those ones. If you're extremely well-to-do, it's classy to drink at work. If you're poverty line, it's incredibly trashy to drink at work. Does that make sense?
I mean, it doesn't. It really doesn't. It's it makes no sense at all, really. I mean, you think there'd be a simple.
That's the way it's seen, though. That's the way it's seen.
You can smash beers every day here and be able to own a gun, but if you even whiff the lettuce, you're nope, you're a criminal now. Give me a break.
I don't know.
Weed is not black tar heroin. Calm down.
Yeah, it's war on drugs and all that type of stuff, and it just hasn't worked. And again, but the thing is, it freaks me out the most is when it comes to Americans with it all. What's the biggest one? It's the opioid epidemic. You know what I mean? And again, I wouldn't want to point fingers, but who was it who was the one that was really behind it all? I suppose this video is not for talking about that. That would be too much speculation. But
back in the comment section.
What else? What else?
Then I had a friend who popped hot for meth on an instant pee test, and I told him, what the fuck, dude, but turned out Zantac popped positive on those tests, but I helped him out by swapping his sample for clean pee that I had saved in my car for myself. Was he a fucking piss goblin? This is my pee.
Honestly, would you not?
Don't worry, friend. I have very good pee in the car.
How long does piss last for though? Ask for a friend. Like, you know, how long can you hold on to that?
So,
stuff? Do you have
James,
to
how'd
keep
you
it- do
make
have to
your
keep it in the
millions?
fridge?
YouTube? No, I sold pee at the back of my fucking Sandtech.
Yeah, I mean, like, makes sense. What was the one? There was one I was eating.
Here you go. Here you go. You're asking. Well, that clean pee sat in my glove box for about a year, and it disintegrated into a goo. And the lab said, "What the fuck is this? You did not piss in a cup. This is just goo." And then
Okay, so you need to have fresh. You need to change that
fresh
shit out at
pee-pee,
least
fresh
once a
pee-pee.
month. Do it weekly at least. You know, you never know. It might save you someday.
And then, final story, I got caught stealing my boss's dog's pain pills out of the bottle on the desk and got fired. I got rich relatively a few years after that, so my ADC was a blessing. This guy's a skeeve. He's just a shitty person.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Anon, I am glad you found your riches, but you're a fucking prick.
Yeah. Well, you know, the thing is, actually, come to think of it, so Megan's mum was on a ton of stuff. She was on morphine for ages, and whatnot. And the last thing she really went on to was ketamine. I'm not even joking.
Jesus.
Or, you know, the big, huge bottle of ketamine. But it got picked up, so it did. But every like day or two, because of its like controlled substances, the nurses had to come in and like go through all of it. You know what I mean, and check all the medication and make sure it's all exactly what's supposed to be being used at any given time. You know, but again, like that makes sense. You know, I mean, like it was. I mean, like it's like a pint bottle of ketamine. You know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck? Is any other good stories worth telling?
Mine are all,
the only
mine
ones
are all
I've
gonna
got-
turn your stomach, bro. Mine all involve
Yeah.
maggots and bodies and rotting meat. Like, mine are all gross stories, my
Alright.
friend.
So the only one I've already told my stories. One was chef slammed his hand down. The knife jumped and he cut all the tendons in his hand.
Jesus.
It was pretty brutal, so it was. And then the other one was chef had a heart attack. That's honestly, watching someone have a heart attack looks brutal. Honestly, I would not recommend heart attacks to anyone because it looks bad, you know what I mean? One of those ones where you can actually like see the pain in someone when it's happening. It's really weird. I wouldn't recommend it, but they'd be the only ones like worth mentioning. I've got a good one. I think Megan might have told this one though before. So whenever she worked in car, no, she wasn't actually there at the time. This was someone else. She had left and she heard the story secondhand. But so the two girls, it was double call. Two girls go down to check on
Two
this old
girls,
man.
one call.
Not to make it, yeah. One head. Oh god, that's a horrible joke. So anyway, they call down, the door's not opening. And they're like, fuck. So anyway, they keep going and they're like shouting in, nothing. And they eventually managed to push the door open. They took the man's head off. He had died in the hallway the night before, so he did. And he was up against the door. And whenever they pushed the door, like shoving it, it took his head off. So it did. Oh my god, absolute brutal, you know. Nothing ever came about it. They were fine. Like, you know, it's completely a mistake, you know what I mean? The family understood anyway, and they were just happy that someone like found him, you know. So that's something. But that's probably the worst one that I've heard that, you know, I can definitely say is, you know.
It's
Go
definitely
tell me,
true. Trust me, bro.
Trust me, bro. Trust me. There's a few other ones Megan's got, but I think she's them all at some point. I don't know. Watch one of her old videos, Garp. Would make me whitey for once. Go for it. Oh, actually, for Americans, whitey means like throw up. By the way, I don't know. Apparently, I said that before on a video, and everyone was like, "Gee, what whitey? What? What?" I was like, "All right, guys, it's not like that, okay?" So yeah, Garp would make me whitey. But like say it in like a slow voice.
Jesus.
All right.
Wait, do
Do you have any good ones?
what, me?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, okay. About work stories or this other thing?
Yeah, well, anything, like, what's the most disgusting thing? Or it doesn't have to be disgusting, but just absolute shit shows. Like, you know, something that's just not gone
It's
well.
just, I think the one that made me the most angry was when someone lost a pair of night vision goggles and training, and the whole base got fucking shut down. That was pretty cool. So basically,
Why, did they think someone stole them or what?
Well,
or?
that was what they fear. And when a 50 cal with it was a 50 cal on a tripod that had a big old MVG suite on it, and that whole thing went missing. So the base said, okay, cool, a night vision crew serve weapon is now missing. Cool. Shut down the base. And I made reservations outside the base to go to a nice fancy restaurant for Valentine's Day. So I was fuming about that shit. But besides cock-ups, I mean, it's just all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's pouring down, like being in the fucking that sandwich shop, and there's a weird smell coming from the drain in the floor, And this guy's like, don't worry, my friend. I take care of it. No problem, no problem. Like, what was his name? I swear to God, it was like Habib or some shit. Like, Habib, I don't know, man. And like, no, don't worry, my friend. I take care of this. And he pulls out a giant pitcher of boiling water. I'm like, what you doing, buddy? I'm just gonna pour it down, put it in, and it'll take care of everything.
Oh God! Did you hear hissing? Did you hear squeaking?
So
noises or
he
something?
pours this fucking boiling jug of water down his drain, and these scalded, and you're right, they were scalded mice come piling out of this fucking drain.
Oh my God!
Like 30 mice squeaking, and like, you know, like the sound of mice squealing when they're in pain. It was like that times about 30. I was like, what the fuck? I come like off my feet. And this guy's like, oh, quick, stomp them. He's stomping these fucking mice with his big old fucking sand feet and just smashing mouse guts everywhere. I was like, Habib, stop! You know, like, what the fuck? And he's like, no, quick, kill them,
You're making it worse. You're making it worse.
Bro, he was like, I think he got like 15 of them. And this guy had this guy had huge feet. These big old fucking like.
Oh my God!
Like his wife called him his camel trotters. That's how big his fucking feet were. And, he's just fucking spraying mouse guts everywhere, all over the fucking coolers and the fucking, like, because he had underslung all the pots and pans for cooking the saucy meat stuff for sandwiches on the bottom shelf of the racks. So these pots and pans were covered in fucking mice guts. I was like, what the fuck, Habib? You know, like,
oh my God!
Like bro, he just kept stomping. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I think I was like 17 years old or something. I was like, what the fuck, bro?
Oh my God!
And he goes, did you get any? I was like, no, I didn't get any. Fucking Habib.
Oh my God. You know what? Actually, I got a story talking about that now. Well, it's nowhere near like that. But I did get into trouble over it in work. So there was this Indian guy in work, right? His English wasn't very good, and all the chefs called him Gandhi. So
call him Gandhi.
His name was Gandhi. Yeah, his name was Gandhi. Everyone like that. Well, that's what I thought. Everyone called him Gandhi, so I would call him Gandhi, and he would just kind of smile at me. I was like, all right, okay. Turns out his name wasn't Gandhi. It was Andy.
It was Andy. Oh. I'm the problem today. My bad.
Yeah, so I got to report to HR over that one, but honestly, it wasn't my fault, okay? It wasn't my fault. And he's Indian, for God's sake. Am I meant to know, is Gandhi not a common name? I don't know, but that's what
I still love that, because Habib was Persian. I swear he had to be Persian or like Iraqi, but his wife was African, like fucking Congolese African, and she called his feet fucking camel trotters. I've always laughed because she had this thick African accent, and I can't replicate it because it was so unique. But she like, oh look at fucking you and your big ass camel trotter. She pointed at his, because he wore sandals everywhere, and Habib had these big old hairy fucking Persian feet. And I was like, Habib, you work with food, bro. You can't do that. He goes, oh no, don't worry, I did good of this. And he went and bought a pair of fucking socks and put it like, Habib, that's not gonna help anything, because his hair would his hair would poke through the fucking socks. It was amazing. He's like a Persian hobbit, but tall.
Yeah, I got one. I'm gonna
Habib,
stitch this.
Habib, just buy shoes. Fuck.
I'm gonna stitch this one, and this is what made me want to do the video. Actually, I completely forgot about it. Right. But anyway, I think that's where we're gonna wrap up, because we're actually coming close to that time where Garbu's audio
always fails.
just fails, and we're like, oh, sorry guys. Yeah, there was an extra 10 minutes of the video, but see you later. All right. Anyway, check out Garbu's Kickstarter. It's doing really well. You already said about that in not yesterday, but the days before video. You're gonna be doing the butler thing, so that'll be pretty cool.
Yeah.
What are you on at the minute, actually?
So we're at 17K. I'm pretty certain.
That's really good going.
Check Kickstarter. Today we are at 17,660.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad, definitely.
Well, it's a bit over $1,000, so I'm doing pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. He never believed me. I was like, Garbu, you know, it's like, it's definitely like people like, I'd buy it. You know what I mean? That's the way I look at it. Like, you know, see if I come across something, like, you know, it's like, would I pay for this?
Well, what may excite you,
you know what I mean? And that's kind of
what may excite you and others, that I am working on war game version of the game. Plus, I have people making STL models for creatures in the game. So
you got you got the models? Nice.
Well, I have them.
Anyway,
Look,
I think
it's different.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, look, that's where we're gonna love yous and leave yous for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. And also, actually, if you've got any other of your own like absolute fuck ups in work or any like absolutely disgusting events, if we get enough of them, we'll definitely do a video on them. But like, you know, anytime I say that, we get a couple. We get like 3 or 4 like really good ones, and then it's never enough. It's never enough, and I like doing your guys' comments, you know. But anyway, look, I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.